Word on the street, I'm a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. Taylor want a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. One nigga out like an outbreak. Chopper start, send me the house shake. Niggas with it in the pound case. Eyes on your chin, better watch what your mouth say. Deal with the footballs, got a nigga tripping. Fuck it, nigga keep sipping. AK with the beam on it. Clip sold on like a lean on it. My nigga like behind ball. Move 100 pounds for a man, beat the charge. Check down, and the play watch a fuck. If a nigga try to rob, fucking hit him with them. Word on the street, I'm a suspect. Hanging with the killers in the projects. They don't want a barrel, keep quiet. Catch a nigga slipping from behind. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. OG Bobby Johnson. 100 bands on your head, get the job done. Throw it up, nigga, where you from? Whole hood hot, cause your nigga hitting licks. Ain't made a meal yet, but he still nigga rich. Stick on my, stick on my, stick on. How you want it, nigga? Full of the city. Looking for the cash, searching for the bag. Young nigga wildin', throwing up flag. Shooters on the roof with a scope. Money they gon' treat you like the Pope.
I can't take that alarm off to save my life. I just feel like it tell y'all to get y'all ass in here. Hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome on this good Saturday. I was going to say Sunday. I just want this week to be over so badly, right? Hello. If you are here, let me know you can hear me. Hit the like button, all that good stuff. Don't be shy. Say what's up before I bring my guests out, and y'all do the same with him. Hello. Let's see who we have in here. Daria. Did y'all watch Daria? Daria was the it, okay? Hi, Miss Struggles. Let's see. Good evening. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday day. All that good stuff. Let's see. Here we go. Just being quiet. I'm sick of y'all. Let's put something in here. You better put something in here. Hi, hello. Thank you so much. Y'all gotta let me know that you guys are in here so we can get started and talk about this episode, because they sprinkled a little hot sauce and a little Tabasco on this episode, and I was a little here for it, just a little bit. Let's see. Oh, come through hair. I try to switch it up and give y'all a little face sometimes, because you can get into the cheekbone when the hair ain't in the way. You know what I'm saying? But before we get started, I'm definitely going to bring my guest out. I am happy he is here. If this is your first time seeing him, be sure to go and subscribe to his channel and all of that good stuff. D, how are you doing?
I am doing great, and I am definitely here for a good cheekbone. So
Right?
I'm very, very happy. I'm digging the look.
All day long, like, before I tell these people where they can find you and put your link in the chat, I just want to know, how did you feel about this episode? I felt like this episode had a little swag today.
No, I actually agree. There were some surprises in this, and I didn't quite see it coming. But yeah, they took it somewhere here.
All right, let me see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Startled me. Hey, right? That's what it's for. I thought about taking the alarm off. I was like, no, let me put it on, because y'all love telling, ain't nobody telling me. I didn't know the live. You can't miss that alarm. That means come on in the room. Hello. Hey, Shanice. Thank you so much for being here. Let's see. Hey, the hair. Right. Y'all see, I love when y'all recognize that I try, because I'll be seeing some people on YouTube. Y'all be watching. It don't look like they wash on the regular. Let's see. What's up? Hello, Matthew Wilson. Thank you for being here. And let's see. Love the look. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys are here. Always looking for. Hey, Bree. Thank you for being here. Here we go. Love it when you guys come in and comment. D, I am going to give you the screen, and I'm going to allow you to tell these people where they can find you and to bring their asses over and subscribe to your channel.
Hey everyone, this is D Movie Man, fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic, coming to you all with reliable recaps, reviews, and reactions. You check out my channel, that is my general tagline. I am all about celebrating the magic of cinema, the appreciation, the entertainment, so many different aspects of it. It's definitely had a huge impact in my upbringing as a child. I have so many memories I can attach to it. Then, of course, along with that, I do my occasional TV show recap. I do trailer reactions here and there. And it's just about diving into just this medium as a whole and understanding the impact it's had on my life, and just the conversations we can have. That's probably my favorite part of this whole YouTube thing. Like the new people I meet, the conversations I have, things that people can connect to and understand, even about their own experiences with cinema or even TV shows here and there. So you can catch me right here on YouTube at capital D period space capital MOVIEMAN. That is D Movie Man. You can also find me on Letterboxd and Instagram at no spaces DMOVIEMAN, and on Twitter at D Movie Man too. So yeah, please feel free to check me out, and I would love to have you guys. Yep, that is. I've been covering Queen Charlotte. Have a film that's coming out on the 28th called Run Rabbit Run. Run Rabbit Run. Got to see it at Sundance, and I hope you guys will be interested in checking that one out. And just a lot of my content will definitely I'm trying to build the channel and build up the audience. So yes, please feel free to support.
To this show, because like I was really surprised by this episode. I wasn't really expecting too much, but when we get into, I don't even want to spoil it because I'm gonna tell you, I think we were probably surprised by the same person because we normally be here. But let's go ahead and get started with my girl here, Chow. She about to get flued out.
Yep.
I wasn't sure where we were going to go with her character and her storyline after last week's episode. But we start out with Renee here, and she is just not really here for like getting flued out. I thought we can clearly see that she got, picked up by this Rolls Royce, and we pull up to a plane. And this is not just a casual dinner. This is me flying you to wherever you want to go for whatever you would like to eat. She is a little reluctant, and it's just like this is a bit too much. And he's like, I feel like you worth more. Like he is ready to wine and dine her a little bit, and she's kind of reluctant. How did you feel about Renee not really wanting to get on the flight? But of course we know she ended up going anyway, because we ain't turning down the plane. But just know, if you try to kidnap me or something, I got goons in Chicago. But how did you feel about their dynamic here? And did you expect him to just go all out for her like this, even though he is a millionaire?
I will say, just in the general sense, I feel like, I don't know how much time has passed, but the relationship progression kind of felt like warp speed to me. It was like, oh, we're here already, and we're really ramping up this quickly. So yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. I thought it was going to be a little more easing into, which obviously Renee feels the same way. And when she walked up in the jet, I kind of forgot for a second. Like I was like, oh, that's right. this millionaire guy she's kicking it with. So it was interesting. I mean, listen, I'm not mad at it, but I can understand why it was probably a little overwhelming for her, especially with this unresolved situation and her ex and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at it, but it is interesting that it's all happening so suddenly.
Yeah, and I think the time span that you were looking for, I believe, like maybe at this point, it kind of felt like it was a first date situation, and it's like this is a whole lot for a first date. But
Right.
Renee just gives off this, I don't know, she gives off the energy that she would be here for being kept.
Right.
Even though she is, a boss woman and she's trying to do her own thing, it's just something about her that feels like, I wouldn't mind, popping getting that Diddy Carisha treatment. But here it's just like, oh, this is, just too much. I was here for the outfit though.
Yeah.
I was here for the outfit and the boobs and the strut to the plane and all that good stuff. But yeah, I was like, first of all, this is a safe situation. Let's not turn down, us flying to Cuba for dinner. Like, I'm going.
Right.
I'm absolutely going. But I was surprised that she was so reluctant. She just gives off wine and dine to me personally.
Right.
But when we get into our favorite character, Sandy, and we have this build a wall kind of commentary happening with a white woman. And we have this podcast. This kind of changed the storyline that I thought Sandy was going to be on, as far as her, she and Matthew is concerned. But you see here that she is reading them the riot acts, like, no, you didn't bring me on your podcast to be a martyr and just be this angry Black woman. I'm not here for that. Anybody you roll up on and say I'm trying to facilitate something, just run the other way because it's a lie.
Right.
And I hate that. I'm just trying to facilitate. No, y'all need to facilitate anything. But how did you feel about Sandy on the podcast? What she had to say and her just reading him his rights?
Yeah, I'm glad she didn't fall for the banana in the tailpipe because as soon as I saw it, I was just like, okay, I see what's going on here. It is just like, it's so obvious. And I feel like we've seen that dynamic so many times, obviously not even just on shows like this, but in real life. And it's just kind of like, all right, like, and granted, I feel like after a certain point, not to say we can't be vocal, but I think you have to understand like where certain situations, there's like a certain word for it, like where people will like bait somebody under the guise of, I just want to know, I want information and I want to learn more and such, and really no, you're trying to lure me in so we can have this huge tete-a-tete conflict situation, and then it's like, oh, and then you fall for, you basically fall for it. So I really appreciate the fact that she was like, okay, I see what's going on here, so now what? So I thought that was great.
Yeah, I was really glad that she didn't, take the bait, because regardless of how racist our fellow components, the comments were, I would have still came off as, oh, you're doing the most. And I was glad, that she put him in his place. Have you covered the blackening? No, I have not. I believe I'm planning to, I'm give and take with the newer content and just movies coming out, but I think I'm going to check that out and talk about it. Dee, do you plan on covering the blackening?
Yes, I actually saw it this past Wednesday. I have an out of theater reaction I need to post either today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I have at least that. I don't know if I'll do a whole spiel on it, but yeah, definitely have some thoughts to share, at least with that.
Absolutely. See, this is why y'all need to walk around the corner and go to Dee's channel and subscribe. But this is where I was like, okay, there's a little trouble in paradise. Once she, has her conversation with Matthew, and she is just kind of in awe of herself, just kind of having a viral moment. But at the same time, we have Matthew, I believe he gets tenure at the university, which is like really hard and really, really significant. Yeah. She was really happy, here for it. And I loved her response. It was like, yes, babe. I was like, yes, see, Matthew, that's what we need from you when she be trying to have her little celebratory moments. We need some reciprocity. Then I said, okay, Sandy, the energy shifted and her face shifted. And I was like, this is not what I thought was going to happen. I thought, it was all, I guess we were putting all the energy on to Matthew, but with the writing, that's how it was going. But here, and I'm going to get into, our therapist and all that other good stuff, but it just came off as, I'm happy you're getting tenure, but at the same time, I'm loving this focus on, Twitter being on me. You're getting tenure. You're going to, really dive even more into being this significant person at this university. To me, it was given, I'm proud of you, but also this just kind of put me in your shadow, and I still want, some shine on me and my opportunity. It was a little jealousy to me. How did you feel about it?
Jealousy from Sandy?
Yes.
Yeah. I can see it, because I think that's the issue. Like, they both have certain aspirations, although, like I said, we've talked about the power dynamic and all of that, but we also see, like, as far as where they are in their lives, as far as age and accomplishments and all that, there's a bit of a disparity as far as life experience and all that. So I think that now I do see where it's creating this disconnect, especially for Sandy, as far as like what she wants to accomplish. But now we're kind of seeing, because I feel like it's been like before now, like it's been nothing to just be, kind of this surrogate mom and this support system and all of that. But it's kind of like once you get a taste of success and I don't know, just like really coming to your own, I think, and I think for any woman who, I think we have an idea of how society is and how women, certain roles that they are kind of like shoved into, or boxes and things like that. And I think for her, although she does have a sense of independence, I think now she is really recognizing, especially with his daughter, kind of out of the picture, so to speak. Yeah. Like, she kind of has to confront like what is this relationship really based on? What is it founded on? How do I really see you, see Matthew? Yeah. And, what do I really want for myself and for my future? And I think within that, and even that sense of resentment and jealousy, it's just like, what do I really want to see, and do I really just want to be up under this man and just be this attachment to him? And that even kind of circles around later on.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, but I didn't understand, because him getting tenure is, it's of course a thing, but that in no way negates what you guys have been this entire time. So I didn't think that that would be the bell to go like, oh my God, like I'm just going to be in his shadow forever. Like, she's been clearly feeling this way, which is, what we get into later. He sits here and he says, this was cool, but as soon as the, brownstone is together, you're going to get rid of this apartment. Where I say, oh yeah, I can't wait. Like, just this huge shift. I'm like, you've been feeling some type of way this entire time. This entire time. And it just gets me how many scenarios with these three women that could just be resolved by simply speaking, like just talking. All you have to do was, say this. And I felt like this is something where she could have just strictly, shared her opinion and her thoughts on things. Hey, I'm scared that you doing this takes away from me doing this. It's like, okay, well, babe, hey, it's never been that. She's just assuming. And of course, we see what happens later in the episode. But I did not see this happen. I didn't think that this was going to be the pebble in their relationship, because I was like, is she not proud? Like, what what changes? What changes for your dynamics just because, he's getting tenure? He's still in that same position he's been in. It's just a hiding position. You can still, of course, be you. Like, I was like, girl, speak up, stand up. Like, girl, get up. It's over it. But we have our three ladies here, and they're giving their little spew, and we are under the impression that we have a brand new therapist.
yes.
I was here for this. I love how, first of all, I love what we, and I hate just, I don't be liking to throw Harlem in there, but I know Harlem, we were like, man, these are some serious, are they going to eventually go to therapy?
Right.
Are they going to show our girls going to therapy? Camille is anybody? But we actually make a point of them going to therapy, and we still keep it comical, because like, why the hell all three of y'all got to go to the same exact therapist?
Right.
But I love the fact that we transition into Cree summer. Like, D. I was like so freaking, I don't know what it is about Cree's energy, and it's crazy because I can't even know how many decades ago A Different World started. But from the 80s, you still have so much love for her and her presence and her energy, and you just get happy just seeing her, like, oh, it's Cree. And not even A Different World, just all the voice acting, all the animation, everything. Like, she is thick in this industry, but a lot of people, I've seen people have no idea who she is. And I'll be like, what? Like, what? Like, excuse me? When I tell you, I wish freaking B and Keith Avery, I wish his ass was in this chat, because he had the nerve to think this was Rachel Dolezal. And I think myself and Elliot, we were about to knock him out. He was like, is this Rachel Dolezal in this episode of Atlanta? Like, hell no, B. And this is Cree Summer. You better act like you know.
He really said it.
He did. And he was dead. Like, I had to look her up, because just looking, I thought it was Rachel Dolezal. Like, yeah, this was Rachel Dolezal. We was about to fight just off a GP of him not knowing who this is. But I love her here as the therapist. I really do. I love what she had to say, and we really get into what's going on in the women's lives. But how did you feel about seeing Cree?
Yeah, it's just like, listen, there are just people who I think that I always, in our experience and just even throughout the years, and all kinds of shows within, the Black community or the Black experience, if you want to call it. But yeah, it's just like from A Different World to, like you said, all the voice acting, like it's just one of those folks who I just feel like are kind of like unsung actors or icons in a sense, and they don't quite get enough love. But no matter when you see them or every time you see them, it's just like, yes, it's just like instant excitement, love, and all that. So
yeah, I love Kira's comment here. It says, in that moment, Sunday realized she wanted more. And that's what I'm trying to understand. Like, even with you wanting more, what does Matthew have to do with you no longer being able to get more? Like, even if I think without the daughter or without anything, like, who he is and what he has already been well off established for what I'm imagining the year, whatever that you guys have been together. So you were always on a trajectory of exceeding what,
Mhm.
the bounds were at the university. But I'm like, what changes? I'm like really honestly trying to figure out what changed besides her. You never wanted this. So it's like you've been, in my eyes, you've been pretending in this relationship with this for this whole time and just low key being a surrogate mom. And it's just like, oh, this is too much all of a sudden. Like, girl, it's been too much. Like, girl, I was feeling sorry for Matthew in this episode because girl, don't play with me.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that's, I don't know, and it might have just been more than one thing. I'm sure there are layers to it, but I don't know if the statement about like the expectation that she's going to move into the brownstone and she's
Yeah.
going to give up the apartment, and that, because my first thought was like, why does she have to do that?
Well,
And now granted, and now considering other things that happen, I don't know if there's like, obviously there's a game plan on his end, so I get that part, but maybe, I don't know, I feel like maybe like even with that statement there was this sudden questioning of what she's giving up, because yes, it's just an apartment,
yeah.
but then maybe that was a signal for like, okay, are there other things I'm going to technically be expected to give up? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it may have been something deeper than maybe even we could really see in the scene or the moment.
Well, I'm just thinking about my own relationships or anything, and you're taking that big step together to move in with each other. And it's just like, it's kind of like, well, are you really entrusting what we have here to kind of keep that security blanket of an apartment? To the partner, it's just a little more than, a space. It's just like, you're kind of planning for, you are planning for something to go wrong, but like, it's like, why are you fixating on that? I need you to trust me 100% to know that we are going to work out. And I trust that you trust me because you were willing to do something as significant as give up your place. Because child, if we finna be in this relationship, I'm just thinking like, if my man rolled up and say, I got this little apartment. What the hell you mean? You I got, I just get a little, Hello Fresh deliveries. I go there sometimes to study and read books. It's nothing. No. No, absolutely not. Now, it does say a whole lot that, this is Matthew's brownstone that they are cohabitating in, but it's just kind of like her expectations, like, I'm just supposed to fall into this motherly care and wifey role. Like, you fell in there your damn self. You put yourself there. But all right. But I loved all everything that she had to say. I believe I think we started with, did we start with Sunday or
I believe it was Sunday we started.
Yeah,
with.
oh yeah, it sure was. Let me pause. It was here. Yeah, we have her here from the podcast. We have an editor of, I guess, just some significant culture, Blackness magazine, something. I forgot what it is, but it's like, I just had to talk to you. I love what you had to say. And she almost took like her peak and her interest kind of peaked up. Was like, oh, you just, tenure at this significant university. That's great. I would love to talk to you also. And Sandy, like, low key took it as kind of the shine being off of her from her energy. I was like, Sandy, really, Sandy? You brought this man all the way, girl. You brought this man all the way here to play him. I was really frustrated with myself and all, because I'm not gonna take away from Matthew's energy because he did, but he's never like falsified who he is and what he has. Like, it's always been there, but now that you realize you want more, like, go over there with your little tenure. This is my moment. Like, I don't know, Dia. What were you thinking about Sunday's attitude?
Yeah, like that's, I mean, the cracks were already there. Like, we kind of saw a little stuff here and there, but then this was like, I just kept looking at her face, and even in the picture, like that tight, like that kind of smile was like, oh, like it's I'm trying to make this hard to kind of make sense of, but yeah, I just like, I don't know, it just seems like all of a sudden, like, there's this, and I don't know, I'm assuming this isn't coming down to writing, but it just seems like it's maybe, I guess, like the whole idea of this shadow aspect, and I don't know, like, I don't know if she believes, like, it's kind of like what you said, like, why is there an expectation that you won't be able to be who you are now and just continuing to be that? But obviously there is a belief that she won't be. Yeah. And now, like, I guess, like I said, because of their interests and because of their even where they met and them being a part of this academic world and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I just think now somewhere in her mind, there is this kind of competitive nature that's risen up. And I don't know, maybe being who she was within that relationship previously, all of a sudden is not, I guess, satisfactory anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering what else is there though, because it was very tense.
I swear, because I was like, as soon as they had this moment, I was like, we need a flashback. We need a flashback to see, you know, the dynamics of the meeting and how that actually happened. We got a little something last season, but it was just once again their therapy session. And it was just like, oh, he's texting my phone. I think he wants to go out. I'm thinking about it. This is a risky situation. But it was never just just something to display their interest and how I need to see how they link, because it said a whole lot that it was like, oh yeah, tell me, and you know, this is my significant other, and oh, you guys have kids? Like, oh God, no. Like, even because you know, especially if you have been in a relationship with someone for quite some time, and she has been what she has been to his daughter for, you know, such a long time, like the energy has shifted so much from like when I'm like, are we going to get some more Tika? Did Tika go away again with the where did she go? But just that energy of like, I was just so upset with him for not speaking up and saying like, okay, we can't make all these plans without, you know, including Sandy. Like, she's been a big part of my daughter's life. And then here I'm like, well, damn, did I want him to interject and say something? Because if you have been that, it's usually no courtesy to go, oh no, we don't have our own children, but yeah, I love his daughter just the same, even though she's my own. It was like, oh God, no, I don't have no damn kids. I ain't nobody's mother. It was very, very cold, but I was very surprised at, you know, Sunday's like, oh, he trying to tell me, you like, oh, you come and over here talking to the lady. I'm just like, once again, I'm in your shadow. Now let's just pause on this outfit for a minute. I was like, so this is business, casual, draws, suit. Okay. It's a lot going on here. I was really happy when the scene started and I was like, when the hell did Renee get a dog? But she's, you know, trying to ring in this account, and she's pretending just to, you know, sign this client. But as soon as she, you know, gives the dog back, it's just like, like, this is not what I'm like, girl, what exactly do you want to do? You are a brand new agency. Yeah. You have nothing to refer to go, hey, you should hire me for this because I did this. She wants access to such, you know, big names, big accounts, big businesses. And I'm like, be happy that you finally, you know, you have clients. You have some money possibly coming in. And from my understanding, we have that money and those clients coming in because of our new child. What is his name? Preston. Okay. He don't look like a Preston. You know, he don't give me Preston. But yeah, okay. Preston got her into that. And even here, it's like really, really close for comfort. I was like, oh, they are very, very comfortable. Like, okay. I thought this was, like she said, going to be I wish they at this point, I'm like, I need y'all to put 2 weeks later or 2 months or something later at the bottom of the screen, because they are spending, I guess, more time together than she wants them to, even though prior it's just like, hey, I thought about the freaking Idol. D, have you been watching the Idol?
So, so here's the thing. Like, I struggle with Sam Levinson because, you know, from the beginning, Euphoria was just a lot. Like, I understood like some aspects of what he's trying to do, but I just feel like he doesn't know how to toe the line between, you know, like maybe insightful commentary or having depth to storytelling versus just shock value. And all the stuff, just even before I heard some of the other stuff about the behind the scenes stuff, just off the rip, I was like, this show looks like more of the stuff I've gotten from Euphoria, from Malcolm and Marie, and like, it's just like, I don't know. And then, you know, cousin B, you know, LB, she did her recaps, and I was like, Lord, what is going on here?
Hilarious.
So yeah, I feel like I need to watch it just so I can be completely on code with
Mhm.
everyone else and just really see what's going on. But it's a lot, and his vision and stuff like that is sometimes
Mhm.
that's questionable to me.
But he tells her, the weekend, my client, the weekend, he loves his dog. Like I could put you, like you're into, like, oh, I can put you down and take you to the game, introduce you to Swiss Beats. But as soon as I tell you I know where the glasses are, I don't need you to get me one. You need to go. How do you feel about her kind of low key wanting something for nothing? Like, girl, you knew what this was. I mean, I'm just so confused at how all three of these ladies don't know what the hell they want.
Yeah, it's a lot of confusion here, and like I said, this we need some kind of information, or even like in the dialogue, to say, it's only been such and such, since
Yeah.
we met, or something. Because I swear, this feels like warp speed. This man already knows where all this stuff is located in your apartment. I'm like,
Mhm.
doesn't it take a minute before you become accustomed to all that
Well, he
stuff?
did say it was his third night there. And
Ah,
it's just like, hey, I've been here 3 nights in a row. So surely they're knocking it out the box every night. And it's just like, oh, I just love all of this. But oh, you trying to move in on me? Like, girl, I mean, it's like, oh, just talk. Like, I don't know. These little scenarios make me feel so old and evolved as far as a
yeah,
relationship person. Cause it's like, hey, you know what? I feel like we may be doing a little too much, but we got to go all the way around the corner, down the street, and back just to get to her saying that. But yeah,
yeah,
I feel like it's really delusional to think that uh, you're going to get benefits without somebody being in your space. And don't like mistake it. Like these aren't, some minuscule things. Like not only am I bringing you here as, oh, somebody I'm interested in and cheeks I'm clapping, but on the business front, you're going to, take value in who are you meeting. This could turn into all of these big names and brands that you want associated with your company, but you don't want me in your space. All
mm,
right. Then we
mm.
got this one. Oh, I'm sick of her.
Of course, but of course.
Oh, I am sick of her. The comments in our last review, I think one of the comments said Whitney's white privilege is jumping out. Um
Well,
I Okay, first of all, we have her, of course, telling the therapist, I was tricked into seeing Ola. The pastor, he is trying to facilitate them getting back together. And I'm gonna let you go first because how did you feel about her energy, seeing Ola and her wanting automatic forgiveness?
yeah. So first off, this pastor is trying to bring about hashtag Black Love. This whole scene here, it was definitely giving me the pastor counseling marital, I guess marital counseling meeting, post marital counseling meeting, between Maya and Darnell and girlfriends after they were
Oh,
separated.
girl. Oh.
That
Mm.
was definitely giving me, for whatever reason, that's just immediately what came to mind. But yeah, it's just like I don't know if she's like become more resentful because he hasn't forgiven her, but it's just kind of like you said, it's just like where are the conversations that are happening? Like she had the perfect opportunity to communicate and tell what was wrong. And I'm not saying that everything would have been like, oh, okay, that's fine, let's get back together, but at least there would have been understanding, and he wouldn't be made to feel like it was all his fault and you weren't entitled in the way, in your mindset and all that kind of stuff. Because it feels like you're just like, okay, well, I said sorry, let's move
Yeah.
on, let's get over it. Which is, ironically enough, which is kind of a role reversal because we see
Yeah,
that
that's what
a
I
lot
was
of
gonna say. I
yeah.
think the show was trying to do, like, if it was a man and he was giving the same type of energy that Whitney is, then you guys wouldn't question it.
Mhm.
But just because I'm like, but most of the time,
Mhm.
so it's something off about the partner. Something would make you go in that direction. Now, of course, with us talking to the therapist, which I really didn't know how to take. Let me just speak my little piece on Whitney. Like, the audacity. This was the same scenario, from episode 2 in the bedroom. You
Yeah.
expecting more, like, why do I owe you that? Me just being who I was to you for however many years, me cheating, like, I've been perfect up until that point. just forgive me. Like, her sitting on the couch with the therapist and saying, like, I just couldn't take the fact that he didn't even want to try. And it's like, you're not trying either.
Right.
What are you giving for him to want to try? What is the initiative of, once again, these women, all these scenarios, nobody's just talking. Nobody's saying anything. This was the perfect thing. And then she was like, I'm going to be the big person. You know what? You stay. I'm going to leave. Like, no, no, you are not the victim. She's acting like a victim. She is acting like a victim. And it's just like, Ola's like, you're bringing me in here and I need to talk. I was cheated on. I did what I was supposed to do. I was cheated on, and she couldn't even give me agency and tell me why she did it. Because no, she better get out of my face. Now, when we get into, I think, later in the episode, well, not later, when she's talking to Cree, she's saying that this is a self-sabotage situation. I was like, what? I was like, all right. I can maybe I can relate to this perfection that she is talking about, not even just with her, but for who she was to Ola. Ola is, as you keep saying, I guess that's why they kept reiterating it in the episodes in the last season. Oh, he's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man. He's a good man. And it's just like, you have this expectation of, as a woman, all the things I need to do to, keep this good man. And Ola says, I never tried to, I never asked you to do any of that stuff. It's like I'm messing up or doing something to you that I didn't even know that I was doing. And now you are upset, and it caused you, of course, to self-sabotage. But of course, if you would have opened your mouth or if you would have, gave me any inkling of, hey, me being Miss Perfect, or, what she said, I washed her clothes, I cooked. I was like, what? What? And I was good at it. Oh, I was so freaking annoyed, but I could relate to just that standard of, I have to be top tier just to keep this good man, because if I'm anything less than that, then maybe he'll find somebody else and not want to be with me. But how did you feel about her saying that she self-sabotaged because it was just too much?
Yeah, I was gonna say the piece about the whole perfection thing, that definitely was giving me the Joy Luck Club, Rose's story, because when they met, she was a very independent person, had her own opinions, such and such, and she fell in love with her husband. And then it's like somewhere in her mind, she thought like, okay, let's become this model wife, and basically become this person who already is envisioning what her husband wants and what he thinks and this and that, and his every happiness. And it's kind of like, what? That's not. And they end up having their marriage ends up running into all these issues because he was like, I never wanted you to do any of that. And then she finally has to admit to herself, like, I'm one who basically made myself feel like, I kind of lowered myself and became this kind of shell of myself. So I think I understand that piece, but you have to understand where the accountability comes in, and you have to understand where you placed all that on yourself, and that was an internal voice or an internal expectation of yourself to be this. Because ultimately, if somebody don't want none, won't be none. So if someone doesn't want you, there's nothing you can really do to like fix that or circumvent that. So I just feel like all that defensive energy, it's like, that's on you. And like, we need the personal, accountability, or just the personal recognition.
Right.
For, like, I did this, I became this person. And then I put that on you because, I expected you to respond to that a certain way or respect it. And it's like, that's not how it works.
I can't stand people in a relationship that is like, when you're upset and somebody goes, it seems like you're upset, what's wrong with you? And they go, you know what's wrong with me. Like, I don't know. That's why I asked you.
I don't.
Like, I love when Cree, our therapist here, said, when you told Ola you cheated on him, what exactly did you think was going to happen? What exactly did you think was going to happen? Hey, he might forgive you, he might not, but it's okay for you to forgive yourself. But I did love the mention of, there's this expectation to be everything and all things to keep this good man. And maybe he wouldn't accept me if I was just some ordinary, plain Jane old Joan who didn't, I guess, cook and clean. I'm like, girl, that's an accomplishment.
Right,
okay.
Exactly.
I was good at it. I never actually, you didn't tell me not to either. Like,
exactly.
Now this here, I was like, if we could just, get a coin, a weed rolling class. Weed rolling class. Like they will sell anything, won't they? Everybody could have sold this once upon a time. A weed rolling class. Do you notice how they kind of take little subtle shots at Renee sometimes about her free spirited, sexuality, kind of like what we have a little bit with Angie when she says, hey, you know what? Because I think in therapy we have kind of a breakthrough with her realizing, because she ghosted him. I was like, she ghosted immature. So I ghosted him. He knew where my glasses were. And it's just like, you know what? I'm scared. This is my first serious relationship since I was saying ex-husband. Me watching the trailer for the next episode and they're out about to live their best life. And it's just like, you're not single. You're just separated. You didn't get a divorce. I was like, she never got a divorce. she's just separated from him. They're not even divorced. I was like, oh, okay, I missed that. But it's like, yeah, even though that's going on, it wouldn't hurt me to give him a chance. But how did you feel about Renee just ghosting him and not voicing how she felt about things moving a little too quickly?
I mean, at this point, it's par for the course. It's just like, bad communication is the name of the game. And that's how we move these storylines along and prolong everything. Just don't talk about it. Just deal with it. Just suck it up. Ghost. Walk around the issue every single time. So, I mean, I'm not really surprised. That just seems to be the structure. So, yeah. So, of course, she couldn't just communicate. It's just easier to run and hide and just, escape the issue.
Not Bresha needed a new wig too. What was that on her head? Yeah, Bresha has a beautiful head of hair, so I don't know. All we need is a real part in the middle. It was fine. Dino hold your side. But getting back into the slide, little remarks when she says, you know what, after talking to the therapist. And then, of course, let me not even skip over Sandy. She realizes what we already know. You know what? I kept that apartment because I don't know what I want, but I know I don't want this. Maybe my relationship with Matthew isn't as perfect as I thought it was. But we have them have a little moment of like, yeah, I think I'm gonna give him a chance. He's cute. And it's like, we bet you did. We already know you didn't. We already know, you slept with him, girl. We already know you be hot in the pants, Renee. I was like, we really don't need that comment. And then I think we have Barb come in and she tells her that, oh, I would have thought you already knew how to do this. I was like, what? Who wrote that? Who said that? Who wrote that? I be picking up on little stuff that I'm just like, we didn't really need that. Don't take any shots where there doesn't need to be any. But Sandy here, she is kind of internalizing her feelings and everything, and she doesn't share what's going on. But as I spoke about Barb, how did you feel about Barb in this scene? Talking to Renee and them kind of having a one-on-one, because she's in on this weed situation. Like, I have stock in here too, but she finally talks to her, even though she doesn't take her card again.
Right. Yeah, I would like to have seen what the conversation actually entailed. I don't know if I'm assuming we're going to, I guess, come back to that at some point. I hope. But yeah, I will say the scene did still scream, which I'm fine with technically. I'm just saying, but you can see where the writers are like, how can we bring Barb into the mix, even though she technically shouldn't be? So, and like I said, I love Erica Alexander. So in the technical sense, I really don't have an issue with it. But if we're going to be honest about it, it's just their way of trying to keep that attachment, because Ella was her main connection to this group, and so it's like they're still trying to like keep her in. But my main thing is just like, I feel like, to me, that I would have preferred to have seen the conversation, or at least a portion of it. Yeah, I
would have liked to seen that, because it's a fellow woman, maybe giving her, who she was trying to, even last episode, giving her a business opportunity outside of somebody she's laying with. Like, hey, I prefer this business relationship outside of, because even with the with Becky, I'm sorry, just who she was working with before, it was just like, hey, I need business to be ran a certain way. Like, she's very passionate and serious about it. So it's like, why dilute it or feel some type of way to conflict your business, by working with someone that you're also sleeping with? But I was like, I was like, oh, okay, we not gonna know what they said or any business pitch, any advice that Barb gave her. Like that would have been a good way to initiate Barb into the show. But no, we
Yeah.
just have Barb roll up and call Sandy Shamika.
Yep.
And it was just like, no, I don't need another card. I got, 10 of those at home. But you can come with me. I'm like, okay, y'all do better.
Right.
Do absolutely better. I love this comment. Not Renee having a hot girl summer while legally married. Yeah.
You
I
know?
completely missed that she was still married. Now, this scene here, where of course she decides, which I absolutely liked, him kind of giving her back that energy that she gave him. Yeah, which was crazy. Like, of course, she already knew that you're in his home. He's in the home. This number is left here as to say, if you need anything, you can either text me or this will text him or, hey. Instead of her like, oh, he's going to come to me. He's going to come down and come to me, even though she's already ghosted him. But she, of course, sits here for some time, just expecting him to open her with, good graces, even though you completely ghosted this man. Even when we're getting into like the weed rolling situation they just left, he got her into that. Like this man, is not only trying to, be with you, but he is, helping you out on the business front. But when it comes to this, it's like, oh, I'm just getting out of here. I'm like, girl, just go upstairs. just go upstairs. But how did you feel about him giving Renee a dose of her own medicine and making her wait the way she's apparently been making him wait, ghosting him?
Yeah, I was actually lost for a second because I'm just like, because I mean, in my mind, I just kept looking. I literally looked at the steps when they first walked in, and she was talking with the lady, and then she went and sat down. I was just kind of like, okay, like here it said, I was like, we're sitting and we're sitting and we're sitting. I'm like, is it not possible for you to just go up the stairs? Like, I mean, literally, that was my thought. And like, we gonna fall asleep, and then it's nighttime. I was like, okay. Like, again, bad communication, like waste a lot of people's time and energy, like for no reason. So then when she went up there, I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I was just like, you could have done that like hours ago, but I guess.
But even like when we get into her character as well as Whitney, this privilege of who these men are supposed to be, to and for them is jumping out. It's just like, I'm the catch, I'm the prize. Why would I ever have to come, 10 paces up the steps to, see what's going on? Even like, no, you have ghosted this man this entire however much time, because we don't know.
Right.
And not even, going in any way apologetic. Even here when they're sitting down for dinner, he's like, I cooked. This man cooked. I cooked, but you can't have any unless you apologize to me. Well, apologize to you for what? Like, okay. I just love the energy of these women walking around like all of like, all right, Preston, Ola, Matthew, I can find another one.
Right.
It's just an abundance of good mans, in Harlem. All right. I can find another millionaire. But we kind of get into just, I guess, her, of course, voicing her opinion. Finally, things are moving a little too quick for me. Like, I have a lot. I'm like, did you tell him because she keeps saying my ex. Did you tell me it was your husband still?
Right.
Did you tell this man that you were, separated? Because of course we have this Atlanta thing. I think we're going to get into some type of triangle whenever he decides to return. And if Preston doesn't know, like, oh girl, I'm still married, right? What's gonna happen with that? Because my ex and my ex-husband are two different things. And at this point, he's not your ex-husband at all. You are just separated from this man. But I did, I chuckle when it's like, well, I can take it slow. Like, as long as we still have sex, right? Like, yeah, I mean, we giving that up. We can still do that all day long. But she finally said what needed to be said. And I guess we are about to embark on them having a what do they have, D? How did you feel about it, and what exactly do they have?
I'm telling you, I'm still trying to figure that out.
That confusion. No, because these are the questions we had when they met, and it was just like, why? If it was, just meant to be business, let's just keep it that. We could have been having an entirely different conversation, but because we do this, we make it messy. So now there's always gonna be a conflict of interest, and just you doing something for yourself and as a business and as a mogul, we sprinkle a little dust on it when we're screwing the person who's, helping us with these business ventures. I'm just saying.
Right.
But do you have any promising things or thoughts, how this is going to turn out for her?
As Kira said, a business situationship is probably a good and accurate, some accurate terminology for it, which is a mess. I don't see where that ever turns out well. And even like how he kind of threw in the, we still
having
smashing,
sex,
right? And I
right?
was like,
I mean, we still
so,
could do that. We
yeah,
still could do that.
I
Like,
was like, okay, like it doesn't really make sense to me because I just feel like I don't know. To me, just the way this seems to all just be happening so
mhm.
quickly, and there are no at least initially, I guess we'll have to see going forward, but there doesn't seem to be any real boundaries, and
Yeah.
the communication is not great. And even in business, that's not the way to do things. So you add the business and this situationship type situation with the fact that she's still, not divorced and her husband is still technically, not completely out the picture and all that. So it's just like, it's going to be a ball of confusion, which I don't know why anyone would subject themselves to that, but this is Renee we're talking about.
No, because I seriously thought when I saw her, like, Bob, like, walk with me, talk with me, I thought when we got to this scene, she was gonna just say, you know what, let's just keep business completely separate. I
Mhm.
love that you want to do things for me, and you can afford to do these things for me. And of course, he informs us of which we already knew why he had interest in her. Like, you're a real person. I meet phony balonies all the time. I'm really interested in you just for that reason. Okay, well, let's just have our relationship, or our budding relationship. And as far as the business, I just want to, handle those things, by myself, or the relationship or the thing with Barb. Nothing here told me that they still want to be conflicting business with sex. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yep.
We will see what happens with that. But it would be really nice if Barb can like slide in, and it'll just be like, you know what, babe, I love that you can do those things, but I don't need you to do those things. I'm gonna,
Mhm.
my business is going to be my business. Nobody could
Yep.
ever say that you only have that because you humped on this man's leg. So
Mhm.
hey, getting into this scene right here with Sandy. Oh, Sandy. Sandy is sitting here and once not voicing her opinion at all, not saying what she needs to say. I thought it was just gonna be, hey babe, I'm feeling this way because our relationship has been this way and these are my aspirations. No, after this, the conversation we get with the girl, she kind of like had every intention of saying, like, I don't think this is working out. I think we should separate. I was like, well, damn.
Mhm.
uh, how did you feel about Sandy in this proposal? Her kind of low key hyperventilating and leaving Matthew on one knee.
Okay, so this is the second time Sandy. I mean, like I said, communication. But this is the second time she's allowed herself to just walk into a scenario that she could have easily, even in the moment, have circumvented and been like, "Okay, wait. Because last week with Ola, I'm like, you see Ola in front of the apartment, he's about to walk over, the likelihood of him saying something is high. You could have been like, okay, wait, and she didn't, and she let that situation get blowed up. And then she sees him having this conversation, and man, her face when he was talking about, you've been like, a support system, and you've been this, and like her face when they cut to her face, like,
Yeah.
whoa, it was. I mean, it was extra tense. And so when he got up, I was like, "Why are you still sitting
Still
there?
sitting
Why are you still
there.
acting like
Say
you don't know
something.
what this man is doing?"
It's
I was
true.
like, "You don't wait
We
for this
do the
man to
fake
get."
out. What are you doing? You know what this man doing? Don't embarrass him in front of these people in this restaurant.
I was so frustrated. I'm like, like, I don't know if she was like, am I supposed to believe she was zoned out or something like that? It's just like, why are you letting this happen like this?
I
Why?
I believe we dealing with another Whitney. She's been trying to self-sabotage ever since they saw Ola in front of that apartment.
I see.
Like,
I
I don't
see.
have the strength and the power to communicate what I want to do because of how I'm feeling about our relationship. So maybe now you'll just be the one to go, oh, you kept your apartment? Like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, maybe you'll walk away because I can't seem to do it. Like, Oh, this was so embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
This was so embarrassing, and I was hoping she would stop him because you know when a proposal is about to happen, like
Right.
you knew this was coming, and we chose to just let him do this. And she was like, "Did you hear what I said?" It's like I gotta go. I gotta go. Walked away from this beautiful ring and ran to her sanctuary, her friends. Now I. Oh, look at that face, child. She act like he asked her to catch a body.
Right.
I was just for her to be this unhappy and this unsettled because he proposed. You were never okay. You were never. You have been pretending and just falling into these roles. Matthew had clearly he had no idea. He
Yeah.
thought they were okay just because she never voiced anything. Like we're in a good place. The brownstone's getting fixed. We're gonna move in together. That's what he thought. We're gonna move in together. She's that connected to me to give up this apartment and just be this to he loves, which he loves. You notice every time he talks about what he loves about her the most, it's always in correlation with the daughter. So it's like you showed up and been all of these things, and now you don't want these things. But it's like if you never wanted to be play mommy, why has she been playing house this entire time? Like you knew for a minute that this wasn't the man that you wanted, and I don't think her going on a podcast was the catalyst for this. Like you've been unhappy, but oh god, we have her meet up with the girls, and oh child, let's not even skip over this. This brought me back to season 1 when we have Renee go and find well, she tries to go find, I think, Jason an apartment, and it's kind of a gentrification situation going on. And these moments right here, I don't know how I'll be feeling about these moments right here. These, oh, are those, shoes? And oh, can I have them? And it's just like, oh, you want them? I'm giving them to the church. This wasn't needed just for her to just overtly say that she cheated and like, oh, you a savage, like there was there was no room or just need for any of this for us to say, what, hey, I'm moving on, I'm gonna pack up whatever Olaf may have left at the apartment and give it to Goodwill or the church. Why do we have to have clearly someone of lesser means rolling up to scavenge and savage the Jordans? Like am I tripping?
No,
Okay.
I thought no, because I thought this was terrible. Honestly, I was just kind of like, it just felt so. I don't know. To me, it just felt
Random.
odd. I don't know if it was just the bad writing of it all, or just how it just. I don't know, like the way it was constructed, or even just the fact that it was there at all. But it was just such a weird, like these kids come out of nowhere, and we have this weird line delivery, and then it's like, oh, well, guess what, y'all? Let me spill the beans about my
We
relationship.
cheated on you? Like what?
It was real off-putting to me. I was just like, okay, so we don't get a scene with Barb. We don't get, and Renee having a conversation. Like we waste some of these other opportunities, but then this is the scene I'll decide to keep in our like 29-minute runtime, if that.
Yeah,
like
29. Are we really? Well, let's just really give it 22 to keep it cute.
right.
This show and Insecure be cutting it real close. Like by the time you sit down and get your drink, it's over.
Yes.
But between this and like I said, that episode last season, she's getting Jason the apartment and it's gentrified, and you have a little neighborhood kid like, oh, are you a such and such lady? She's like, oh, you must be happy to get this beautiful basketball court built here. It's like, oh, it's not for us. It's for, the new tenants who are going to be here who can afford to live here. And I'm like, what are y'all saying? I ain't need baby here to roll up to get okay. I was trying to make sure it don't just be me, D.
No, because I was sitting there at the screen like, okay, who asked for this? Because it certainly was not me.
Okay. But we get here a scene I actually liked. I love all the angles here in the scenes, and just them being fitted in the frame, all three of them together to get their facial expressions. As she tells them, like, I ran, pretty much. I ran, and of course, like I said, she says that I just couldn't get out of my mouth that I don't think this is working out, and we should separate. Did you expect her to say that?
I mean, you're saying, did I expect her to say that to Matthew?
Not even, well, clearly we just couldn't, but just for her to feel that like from the, even I guess 2 episodes ago, from the where they were in their relationship, I thought for the most part it would be, hey, me having a conversation with Matthew about my needs, my wants, my expectations, and how I'm maybe in fear of kind of being in your shadow, or you maybe yourself, well, we thought trying to put me in your shadow because you're used to being that person in the relationship. It's just like, no, she's immediately gunning for the door into in the relationship. And I'm like, I don't even be investing my time in people's lives and children to run for the door. This isn't, hey, we've been dating for 3 months and I changed my mind. You've been a presence in, his life and his daughter's life for some time. So I thought it was just really unfair for her to, like, I would have been pissed. But how did you feel about what the ladies had to say to her? Because she looked like she was willing to, like, oh, what am I doing? I'm walking away from this man who loves me and wants to marry me. Even if I am unhappy, who am I to turn that down? Like, I'm losing my mind. Let me go back. And it's just like, no, you have to put yourself first and your needs first. And if he isn't the one, let's not force it. You need to talk to him and just tell him that. Yeah. How did you feel about what the ladies had to say and them reining her in from going to continue a lie?
Yeah, but well, I would say the most important thing, again, that they suggested she do was have a conversation. When two people are able to sit down and voice any and all feelings that they have in relation to themselves or the other person. Yeah. So I feel like that was really the most important takeaway. But I also, yeah, like, it's hard. Like, I don't know if all this comes down to warp speed writing and character development. Like, I don't know if we're trying to like I don't know, like, if we had I don't know, I'm just curious, would this look the same way if we had a different episode order, or if Ella was still here? Like, would this be drawn out a different kind of way? Because I think that's maybe the issue, because I feel like the dynamic is real, and I even understand the whole concept of, like, even people who have been married or in actual relationships, like, once kids are out of the house and they're moving on, then then the people have to kind of really consider, like, what if they have anything in common anymore, if they just gotten used to just the process or the structure of their lives with the child. Then it's like, do we really know each other now after all these years? But it's kind of different in this case because that's not quite the same. And I feel like that's kind of what they're trying to pinpoint as far as Amari not being as much in the picture. But I think just the way that they're maybe trying to develop that is a little off, and that's why it doesn't seem to quite make sense.
Yeah, because what did she say? Like, damn it, what did she say to the therapist? She's like, I'm just noticing how vastly different we are and how we see our lives. I was like, what? Like, what exactly is, so different? And when she says, hey, I kept that apartment because maybe our relationship isn't as strong as I thought it was. I thought it was just as simple as her voicing, her wants, her needs, her desires, and are we going to match up, when I do decide? But when she says stuff like, Matthew, he's going to be satisfied with being, at the university, being tenure and being a professor forever. Like, that's all he ever want. Like, what exactly do you want? You want to be an Instagram model? Like, what? Like, what kind of aspirations? And then, of course, she says, like, I don't even know what I want. But her saying, stuff like that, I was like, what does, his success in his career have to do with yours? But all right, let's get into Matthew with this egg on his face. I was like, damn, Sandy, you stayed there until the sun came up.
Right.
You didn't even go home to talk to this man. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'm guessing you didn't come here to say yes.
Yep.
Matthew better than me, child. I would have did the Lawrence in the Best Buy shirt, girl. I would have been gone. Because what you're not gonna do is leave me in this restaurant like this. Then you don't come back until the morning. But of course, I'm guessing we're getting into her stating, which once again, like you said, the shows and the writing moving so fast. Trailer for next episode. Yeah, we're all in Chicago and single, and you're single now? This is the first time all three of us have been single at the same time in forever. What?
And what irritates me about that is if they're not going to open that next episode with this scene, I'm going to have a problem with that because
They're
we are
not.
once again skipping a necessary conversation that we need to see. But again, keeping in this horribly crafted scene with these kids and the Jordans and being a savage. Like, what are you doing?
I would be surprised if they do open up with that. I would love for them to do that so we could have some type of closure if she is, I guess, all of a sudden, because Matthew and the daughter, their relationship has is a really significant part of Sunday's storyline. It's not just like something she fell into. This is how we met her. So
Right.
I was under the assumption, and just the energy that they give towards each other, that she has been with Matthew for quite some time, especially for him to propose. Y'all
Right.
ain't, I'm guessing you guys have been together for several years, a couple, like, I'm just not, I'm not ready for them to just drop this and for Sandy to be single.
Right.
All right. And even with that, because I'm jumping, but I saw some pictures on Google, when I get my little stuff together, of Tika like rolling up. And I'm hoping that it's going to be like, oh, you pretended so well to be this and want to be this to my daughter. Look at what you doing in here.
Uh-oh.
Like, well, what are you doing in here? Like, I thought you meant what you said about wanting to be, whatever. You were pretending, like, because you doing whatever because he is a father, it just doesn't affect you. Once Amari comes back home, Daddy, where's Sandy?
Mhm.
Where is Sandy? So it's gonna be a whole lot. But how are you feeling? Let me take this off, child. Because how are you feeling about us moving into next episode?
I hope we're not, and like I said, I still have a different appreciation for this show because and obviously from our conversations, I see the greater flaws in that other show called Harlem. But I hope we're not about to I hope they're not going to run into the same issues because Harlem has definitely liked to hop, skip, and jump around as far as like storylines, development, and all that. And I don't know if they're trying to, like you said, like now, Chicago and this funeral, and now we're all single, and it's just kind of like, okay. And I guess I have to see if I feel any differently by the finale, but I'm like, is there a purpose to that, or are you just trying to push the characters into a different dynamic so we can explore that?
Other
It's like
options.
you have to be true to whatever the characters are, and if there is like a progression or a development in how they see the relationship or whatever, then that's fine, but you have to give that time. And at least like if I think about like Issa and Lawrence, we actually saw some highs and lows, and we saw like
we are never going to get that again, D.
No.
Who are the where's the writer's board? Like, we are never going to get none of these shows can, and I hate that. I'm not trying to hold any show to insecure standards,
Right.
but the writing was really superb in a whole lot of ways. Like, these kind of shows make the writing there look just like so intricate, like the way, but it's just really naturally letting something unfold rather than rushing it. All of these shows rush as if like we might not get renewed. Maybe that's a conscious thing also, like, hey, we might not get renewed, so let's write the stories in a way that if we don't, I'm like, I would rather you not and just leave the audience with, oh my God, we really want more. Like, even, let's say something like Lovecraft Country or something, like, oh, I really hate the fact that they like, I really don't care that they didn't get renewed because the show wasn't really, all that. I'm not really, but I expected them to come with a little bit more consistency with us missing Ella. Maybe they're doing the opposite because they had so much time. They had so much time between last season and this one to do rewrites, reshoots, and create a whole different narrative for these ladies, for stuff to be as messy and you know what? We're gonna hope for the best. Moving into the next episode and all that good stuff. But let me read this last comment here. Let's see. Renee just left Jason because he decided to pull him out. Like Terry's husband, Miles, and Soul Food, and pursues his career in music. Yeah, Joshua, where you was when I said that? Yeah, that's a whole lot of that. But D, once again, I put your link in the chat. I'm going to give you the screen once again to tell these people quickly where they can find you and get. D is at 985 subscribers. Go show out.
Hey, you guys, once again, this is D Movie Man, and I am a fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic. I am a person who loves film, who loves the cinema, who loves even the theater experience. And with my channel, I am just devoting all of that, all of my content to exploring my appreciation, my love, and all of that through my reviews. I like going in depth. I like, kind of giving a more personal perspective, not just the entertainment side of things, but also how I connect to certain themes and motifs. Even, some symbolism here and there, parallels to my own life and things like that. I like to, give a lot of good knowledge and information and insight, especially for films that you may not have, known it, directors and all kinds of things like that. I plan on just continuing to dive deeper, whether it's TV show recaps like Queen Charlotte or, Sundance films like Run Rabbit Run and Shortcomings and a whole lot more. Like I try to, keep it diverse, but I also try to highlight hidden gems and films that don't get enough attention. So, so it's not your typical channel as far as movies, but I try to, give a different perspective and bring something fresh. So please feel free to check me out. And I don't think you guys will regret it.
That shit again. You guys be on the lookout. Tomorrow I will be dropping my video for I Am Sam. Get real emotional in the chat if you will. For me, because I was emotional. Whoever paid for I Am Sam, I have words. I had never seen it and I was very touched.
Yes.
And Tuesday, I will be doing Apocalypto, and it will be my first rendition of the after party. We're doing a whole after party where after I go live after my live premiere of the movie review, I will be going live with the guests. We will be discussing the movie and I will be bringing on, you can talk to them, get to know a new person, also interact with you guys more. So support me on that. Like, don't make me say it twice. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Absolutely support me on that. But I love Kira's like, or girlfriends. Like, what about girlfriends? Those days are so. I don't think we're ever gonna get what we get 8 seasons of girlfriends. Yep. But thank you guys so much for being here. Me, D, and I will definitely I can't even say it with passion because I'm not feeling it. We going to Chicago for a fume. Okay. Me, D, and I will definitely be here next week to recap the show with you guys. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to hit that like button on your way out. Comment. I will see you guys next time.